Hello, and today we'll continue with Sylving. After sneaking past the sleeping fox, we step out the door and onto the bustling street. Agenor locks up behind us. It takes him a second, which gives me time to make a quick scan of our surroundings. It was a hadn't just about every set of eyes is glued on me, and they don't dart away until we make eye contact one by one. And even then, I can feel them lock back on the moment I look away. It's what we expected, but that makes it no less unnerving. I can only hope that they'll lose interest sooner or later. We'll be making our way further to the village, down the street. He points in the opposite direction. We went the other way. Hello, and today we'll continue with Sylving. After sneaking past the sleeping fox, we step out the door and onto the bustling street. Agenor locks up behind us. It takes him a second, which gives me time to make a quick scan of our surroundings. It was a hint, just about every set of eyes is glued to me, and they don't dart away until we make eye contact, one by one, and even then I can feel them lock back on the moment I look away. It's what we expected, but that makes it no less unnerving. I can only hope that they'll lose interest sooner than later. We'll be making our way further to the village, down the street. He points in the opposite direction we went the other day, away from the village exit. The crowd will thicken as we go, so stay close to me. He begins with a slow pace down the street, looking over his shoulder to ensure I'm keeping up. This is both exciting and nerve-wracking. There's already so many eyes on me, and there's going to be even more. The bestial nature of the village's faces only makes it worse, as though they were feral animals stalking their prey. But Agenor is beside me. His opposing stature inspires a bit more courage in my gait. At least until I feel a chilling breeze wash down from the base of my tail into my butt crack. Because of the hole needed for my tail, the wind has full access to my hind quarters. I shiver in horror as my thoughts are dominated by the mental image of everyone getting mooned by this window to my behind. My shirt's already tucked in, and I have nothing else to cover it with. I grow more and more self-conscious, and the streets continue to grow more and more crowded. I try to pull my pants up as far as they'll go, but no luck. It forces my pants line to stay uncomfortably low, rendering me defenseless. Out of desperation, I awkwardly use my hand to cover the hole. The wolf picks up on this and brings us to a stop. Oh, you're right? Yeah, I'm good. Oh, you sure about that? You keep visiting, and you're holding your back like you're strained. I just feel a little exposed to the opening behind me. Is the outfit too big for you? No, not at all. It fits well enough. It's just the tail hole. I can't help but feel like I'm flashing everyone. I'm afraid I can't do anything to help you with that. The hole is for your tail. You can only try to get used to it. But you shouldn't worry about what others think. It's completely normal for the base of the tail to sew. Nobody gives it a second thought. With my head over my shoulder, I'm certain I catch a peeping Tom in the act. It's just because you're a new arrival. But people come and go all the time. Their curiosity will wane before too long. I hope so. Let's keep moving. Focus on the path and try not to think about it. But I do think about it, and the more I do, the more I realize it really is just a me thing. No one's getting their tusk ogled through their tail hole. With my nerves settling, I can see the only looks directed my way are of innocent curiosity. My posture relaxes, and I let my hands fall to my sides as I catch up with the big wolf. We continue on for a bit before the street opens up into a large space before us. The place is jam-packed, with stalls creating a labyrinth so dense the surrounding buildings are obscured from sight. This unexpected bazaar is literally packed shoulder to shoulder with dire. I don't know how anyone is meant to navigate it, let alone someone like Agnor. It's really crowded here. The Jack Market is quite something, isn't it? This place is usually empty, but during big festivals, it gets packed with all sorts of novelty stalls. The Hunt is the village's biggest draw for foreign merchants, so both markets and travelers in the region all flock here to see what's in store. I can suddenly see that in the crowd's enthusiasm. Some stalls are so popular I can't even see what's being sold. As we continue on our trek, I peruse the various stalls. They have all manner of goods, most of which I don't recognize. However, most of what I do seems like the things you find at the antiquity store. The stalls, the spices and teas are the most crowded. One is practically drowning in customers. I can barely see past the crowd, but it looks like they're selling little boxes of white powder, salt. That one over there seems quite popular. What are they selling? That's gotten everyone so riled up. They must be here for the Provo-Kest. It's hard to come by normally, since our kingdom doesn't produce any. Foreign trade markets like this one are the only chance to stock up. Used to be that only nobles could afford it because it was rare and difficult to find and difficult to make. But nowadays there's enough for everyone, so the price has really come down. Must be pretty good if everyone wants it so bad. What is it? It's an ingredient used for baking. It makes dough swell and taste better. You see it in a lot of cake recipes. Really? We have that too. We call it baking soda. I didn't think they would have that here. If I recall correctly, baking soda isn't exactly easy to make. I guess it must be more advanced than I gave them credit for. Hang on. If they got something as modern as baking soda, then maybe. Do any of these stalls sell coffee? Coffee. Yeah, coffee or maybe chocolate. I have never heard of them, so probably not. You're just using a different name again. They come from big brown fruit with lots of little brown seeds inside. Does that sound familiar? My apologies, but I have never seen or heard of such a thing. The lack of flushable toilets was one thing, but no caffeine, no crisp roasted aroma to greet you in the morning. What a cruel world. It's slow going as we make our way through the crowd, giving me plenty of time to scoop out the goods. There's a portion that appears to be locals selling it to outsiders, one of which is packed with countless jars of honey, all different shades of gold and brown. Some of them even have honey comb inside. If there's a snake? I don't know why I'm so caught off guard. I've seen plenty of different kinds of dyers so far. I guess a snake with horns was just a bridge too far. And not just any snake, but a cobra. Its head is framed by a large hood that melts together into its neck. I struggle to wane in my flight or fight impulse. Yes, it's a person, and have no doubt they're as harmless as the rest of the crowd, but they don't have any legs. Just an extra long, thick tail coiled up behind their stall. They are basking in the sun, enjoying a private, tranquil moment. I remember learning that reptiles are drawn to warmth, something about them being cold-blooded. so they need to seek the sun and other warm things to remain active. Their clothing definitely doesn't match what the locals are wearing either. Wearing wearing golden bracers, necklaces, and something in their hood that resembles ear cuffs. Their outfit makes them stand out as both wealthy and very foreign. I can't help but feel like I fit in better than this guy. How come they aren't getting any gawkers? Talk about a double standard. I'm pulled from my spiteful regard by their tongue flicking, paired with almost hungry gaze. Ah, welcome, my good master. Come close. Come closer. His voice is masculine and coy. His tongue flicks in the air again, and I take a half step back. Some part of me expected him to bite sooner than speak. Don't be afraid. So sorry. Only wants to give the dear customer what they desire. Adjusting his posture with a long, mesmerizing undulation of his tail, he gestures broadly at his wares. I hadn't even noticed what he was selling on account of there being a Cobra man. Behold, the finest silks from my homeland, Libum, a luxury beyond compare, as I'm sure your discerning eyes can tell you. I transfix eyes like saucers until I notice there's no coffee in sight, and then I lose all interest. That fabric looks nice and all, but it's not exactly something I need. The couple picks out a particularly stunning bolt from his arsenal, unrolling a meter for me to examine. Now this would look most splendid on you, don't you agree? I can't even answer this question. I'm too distracted by all the hissing. Does he actually have to do it? Or if he asks, I thought that was just in cartoons. Who knew they were bang on the spot with that stereotype? Yes, only the best for you. This would fasten the most fantastic garment. How much will you be needing? I'm not sure. What would I even make with it? Another new shirt, but it does look really soft, and it's silk. I've never had silk before. Almost of its own volition, my hand gravitates towards the luxurious-looking fabric. The cobra's tongue flicks in anticipation. Only 190 core a par. How much is a core? That's gotta be like pennies, right? We can afford that. But just before my hand connects, a large weight claps down onto my shoulder, and I nearly jump out of my skin. The shock pulls me out of my trance, and I reel my hand back as though the fabric were a real serpent. I look up to see whose hand is on me, and it's Agnar's. We're not biting. The cobra's eyes shift to the wolf. He puts away the silk, amidst a masked frustration and feigned meekness painted on his face. He bows low, his head sinking farther down than most people could manage. My stall is open any day you wish to sign. Agnar leads me away, and it's like the world has come back into focus. I glance back at the merchant's stall, but he doesn't look upset. He's already returned to bathing in the sun. Wow, he was certainly different. You know you must be curious. I know you must be curious. My stall is open any day you wish to sign. Agnar leads me away, and it's like the world has come back into focus. I glance back at the merchant's stall, but doesn't look upset. He's already returned to bathing in the sun. Wow, he was certainly different. I know you must be curious, but please stay close to me today. These merchants can be all too persuasive if you give them your time. I wasn't gonna buy it. I don't even know what to do with silk. But you were still tempted. I saw how he was working you over, slowly luring you into buying it on a whim. It's a common tactic for your kind. You should also avoid talking with him again in the future. He won't stop pushing bills onto you, even after you've given in and bought something. Finally exiting the street crowded with people, we take a left down a short path into an open street. Here we are, the Golden Hills Inn. I've seen plenty of taverns like this in games, so I think I know what to expect. It's funny they always have names like the Dancing Badger. I guess in a world filled with beast folks, names like that don't carry the same charm. Alright, let's head inside. I followed the wolf into the building. It's just like how I envisioned it to be. The floor is made of cobblestone, as are the walls of the first floor. The second floor is entirely made of wood. It has a mezzanine overlooking the activity below. The columns are intricately detailed. Symbols twist and weave across in patterns that are at once alien and vaguely familiar to me. I can't imagine how long it must have taken to carve them all. Looking over the counter, there's the typical barrels, drinking bottles, and other necessities for a bar mixer serving drinks. Besides, it is an astonishingly large door, presumably leading into the kitchen. I could almost float on the smell wafting from said room. The aroma of salts, grilled meat, and melted butter is almost tangible, and it makes my stomach yearn to be. I actually have to swallow a little to avoid drool spilling out of my mouth. Most of the tables are empty, though. Must have beat the lunch rush or missed it. Either way, everyone's at the market shopping, so we practically have the place to ourselves. Big Wolf! A brown blur darts out from behind the counter before seizing Agnar's leg in a tight embrace. His arms and legs are wrapped around Agnar tight enough to hold himself aloft. He's smiling ear to ear, giggling as he buries his face into the wolf's fur. But then he finally notices me, and his eyes go wide in surprise. He promptly releases Agnar and begins hopping from foot to foot in sheer excitement. Oh, I know you. You're the real-looking lion with the funny clothes. Ole. The cub wilts a little at the chide, but immediately forgets his manners again, pointing cruelly at me and bouncing in place. But he's the one my friends told me about. He's that real drunk lion. He's not a drunk, Ole. He's recovering from a severe illness and is having trouble walking. Be nice and don't judge him by what others say. Ole puts his taunting figure down, but continues to stare in silence before seizing Agnar's leg again. Is he growling? Oof. Oh no. Oh, the dreader has me in his clutches. Agnar drops down to one knee, acting like he's been gravely wounded. There's only one way I can save myself. Take this fiend. He lunges at the little bear cub, tickling his sides up and down. Ole quills in laughter, relinquishing Agnar's leg, and scrambles in a futile effort to seal his most ticklish spots. Ha! I have found its weakness. Agnar gets his paws under Ole's arms and helps him up high. The little guy's reveling in his theatrics with the biggest grin on his face. No, you win. I think he might be getting overstimulated, but the wolf continues with a smirk and a sing-song voice. I don't know. I think this little brisket could use a chomp. No. The cub wiggles wildly, but it's no use. His demise is sealed. He is in the clutches of the mighty wolf, and his belly is forfeit. Antnor's maw is spread wide, threatening to blow the cub's little tummy or take a bite out of him like a burger. But before the fateful blow is struck, our eyes meet, and he freezes. Despite the ear-splitting smile that must be plastered on my face, he ceases immediately, though he still has a big dopey grin. All right, young fiend, I'll spare you for now, but no more of your shenanigans. Okay, hee. Antnor puts Ole down, who darts back behind the counter, squealing the moment he's let go of. So, Big Wolf, eh? Yeah, he always calls me that, but I like it. That was Ole. He's Brum's cub. Brum? The owner of the inn, and also the lead chef in the kitchen. He does most of the cooking, and is actually the one who prepared everything I brought you to eat, aside from the bread. Really? Didn't know an inn like this would serve takeout. The ones I know of usually make you eat it in the building. Lucky for you, I'm the assassin. Ever since I told him about you, he's been more than happy to lend a paw. That's so nice of him. I should really thank him when I get the opportunity. What's he like? Brum, well, he's got a big personality and a frame to house it, huh? I wonder what he means by that. Because he's a bear? The little bear cub pokes his head over the counter, having climbed up a stool to stand on. Big Wolf, Dad wants to know if you're staying or taking it out again. Well, if Aaron wants to, would you like to stay a while? He leans in and lowers his voice. We don't have to stay, but I can promise everything tastes much better right out the kitchen. Tough call. Go back home and cultivate my cabin fever some more. Or enjoy a hot meal and a cozy inn and get to make a new friend in this Brum fellow. You know what? I think I'll stay just for a bit. Hey Ole, I'd love to eat here. See what your dad can make. Yes. Would you like to show us to a table? I know you've been practicing how to greet a noble. The little one's face lights up. He scampers down and around the counter before coming to a wizard stop before us. Right this way, mister. He bows and comes it fast and sweeping his arm low and wide with a gallant flourish. He then leads us to one of the available tables, chin raised snootily in the air and walking on his tippy toes. Please have a seat. He's speaking with an intentionally poor pompous accent. It's hard not to chuckle. I hope he doesn't speak to actual nobles this way. I don't think they appreciate it. We take our seats with a gracious air, following the cub's lead in this little skit. The seat is a tad bigger than the ones back of the house. My feet barely touch the ground, while Antnor only has to bend his knees slightly. The best seats in the house, thank you, Master Ole. You're too kind. Now that we're seated, can you introduce yourself to our newest guest? The little bear beams, dropping the act and extending a hand to me. I'm Ole. Nice to meet you. I take his hand and give a gentle shake. Nice to meet you too. I'm Aaron. You must take a lot of responsibility around here, big guy. How old are you? I'm 6. 4 or 5, I'm 7 years old. He pulls up his chest with pride. You had a birthday last month, right? Yeah, Dad got me the biggest honey cake too. Do you like honey, Mr. Lion? His name is Aaron. Do you like honey, Aaron? This kid's adorable. He acts pretty much the same as any other human kid his age. I sure do. It's super sweet. I like to have it with my breakfast. Ole, do you think you could help your dad out in the kitchen? You know how much he appreciates your help. The cub sees right through Antnor's gambit and makes his displeasure known. But Antnor, you promised you'd play with me today. He's hunching his shoulders and pursing his lips. A more hurt look of betrayal could not be mustered. I know, I'm sorry, but I've been appointed this nice lion's guard. You know I don't shirk from my duties. Could you forgive me? But you're always busy. It's been so long since we last played. The little bear cub stares at the ground, paws pulling at the hem of his shirt, looking sincerely dejected. His eyes start welling up with tears, his round ears droop pitifully, his lips pucker out, and he looks up at me with the biggest eyes. Oh God, my heart. Sad, cute animals are the greatest weakness. He bats his eyes mournfully. A single tear casts down his crumpled face. I thought I had tougher skin. After all those animal cruelty acts, I know he's just playing me, but there's a limit to how much sad cuteness I can take. But I also need Agnar. It's my first time out and about, and I really don't know what to do if something happens. Yeah, the eyes, no more. I can't say no to a face like that. I'm not a monster. You in this round, you little crocodile. You can go play with him, Agnar. I'll be fine. Agnar gives me a concerned look. He can see the struggle in my face. He knows. No, Evan, I can't just leave you alone in a new place to go play with a cub. What sorcerer allows you such immunity to this crystallization of misery in the form of a teddy bear? I grit my teeth, now spellbound to aid the cub in his quest. Come on, it's the middle of the day, and everyone saw me come in with you. Who's gonna mess with me, right? I'll be fine. Before he can retort, I continue. Besides, you did promise him. Yeah, you and Dad always tell me it's important to keep your promises. You wouldn't want to set a bad example, would you? And at last, the emotional black bear piles too high, the wolf breaks. Alright, we can play, but only for a little bit. Yay! The cub scampers over to a more open part of the inn. Agnar pushes himself up, leaning forward, whispering to me as he does. I won't be far. If anything happens, just call out for me. Got it? Alright, I will. Good, I'll have Brom bring you a drink to start with. Well, I better get him a good first impression. How's he like? Yeah, Brom's larger than life. His size might be intimidating, but I promise you that he's a good man. He will like you. The playful pair made their way behind the counter and to the kitchen. I can hear them talking, but can't make out what they're saying. I lean back in my chair, just taking my surroundings. This is nice, the casual atmosphere, the quiet chatter of the sparse clientele. It's like a quaint medieval spread of any family establishment you find back home. The tables are pretty close together, though, so I imagine it's a very different vibe when the place is packed in the evening. But right now it's calm and relaxing. I can just lay back and let my mind wander. My eyes drift from table to table, watching three patrons eat and speak in a jovial manner. I catch one of them staring at me before quickly averting their gaze. I stop people watching after that and just stare down at my hands resting on the table, twiddling my thumbs. I've never been a subject of public interest before. It's awkward, but at least they don't seem aggressive or scared, just curious. My attention snaps back to reality where a proverbial mountain of fur comes towards me. At first I mistake him for one of the patrons, but as he gets closer I can see the bears coming from the kitchen making a beeline for me. That's Brom. He's massive. He walks up to me, a big, almost suspended grin on his face. I have to crane my neck back just to see his big nose. You must be Lord Aaron Sonder Agnar. Told me about. It's a real pleasure to meet you. I gobbled him solidly, forgetting how to speak. Agnar said he would be big, but I'm just a pebble compared to him. His arms are definitely thicker than the wolf's. His legs are actually the size of tree trunks, but I'd probably have legs like that too if I was hefty around a gut like that. What did these guys eat to get this enormous? He sets a tankard before me on the wooden table. It's so small compared to the bear that I didn't even notice him carrying it. I swallowed nervously, finding my voice again. You're bum? My lips won't start quivering. I'm trying my hardest to not take off running from my seat. The one and only. And I welcome you to the Golden Hills Inn. Wanted to give you a proper Dowsett welcome. Hope you're enjoying our town so far, my lord. Dowsett, I wonder if that's the name of the village. But why, Lord, does he think I'm one? Adnor told me you're a traveling noble. Been hearing word around town too, but you're not at all what I expected. We don't get many high society folk through the door, though Adnor has brought that Vedskogen fella here a few times. I heard you've got some real colorful clothes too. I wish I could have seen them. Heard all sorts of fanciful things about them. Colorful, right? That's a polite way to put it, I guess. Yeah, this place is pretty different from home, so I needed something more local and less eye-catching. Same. Maybe I get to see him one day. I'm just so glad I finally get to meet you in person. Want to give my lord a proper welcome to our humble village. I'm resisting the urge to cringe. He really thinks I'm noble, huh? I'm going to have a talk with Adnor about this. This was not explained to me at any point, and I haven't got a clue how I'm supposed to act. I heard you've met my son. Work hard that one there. Hope he's not been too much trouble for you. I would like you to meet my Gertrude, but she don't wait tables till evening. Good spirited gal, and a total heart-stopper. The surprised beauty of Dowsett. Why, half the men come here just to get a look at her. Helps the flow of coins, you know. Maybe you've already heard of her. Wouldn't be the first time someone made way here just to meet her. No, it's my first time hearing about her, but she must be really popular if people travel to see her. Oh, trust me, she's the most beautiful woman you ever see this side of Norton. One look and y'all be left speechless. I can't help but feel like he's playing her up a bit too much, but seeing as he's her employer, I guess that's suspected. I'm actually kind of curious to see what she looks like now. But if you're not here for her, then... of course, you must be here for the big hunt. Not really, no. I was just in the area, but I have heard of it. You know, probably could have lied. There, it is the more likely draw. Will excuse my presence, but then again, I don't know anything about it by the name. Traveling abroad, eh? That brings back memories. Well, I hope your stay is good before you move along. Dowsett's a good place to rest for a spell. Speak of, I heard our wolf is your new guard. How's he holding up to your standards? Adnor, he's great. Actually, no, he's wonderful. He's the one who found me in the woods and was looking after me while I was unconscious. He's done a lot for me since I woke up and didn't know what to do. I tried to run away when I was confused, but he found me and took me back to the house I'm staying in. I really like Adnor. I don't know what would have happened without him. Heh, that's our wolf. But you must have been real sick, given that you were crying out the village the other days, or so I heard. See, is that how bad the rumors had gotten? I better change the perception of me before I'm stuck with a weirdo lion label. No, it wasn't that bad. Just had some trouble walking. Rumors tend to exaggerate. I'm glad to hear you're doing better. Without skipping a beat, the surprisingly curious bear resumes his line of inquiry. And now you'll stay at that little lodge Adnor's been watching over lately. Lord Mikhail offered to let me use the house while I'm staying here. I can't say for how long, but I'll be staying for a while. So y'all be a long-term guest, huh? Great, I hope you enjoy your stay then. Now tell me what your pleasure is. I know nothing on my menu's gonna. I know nothing's on my menu's gonna. Yeah. Now tell me what your pleasure is. I know nothing on my menus gonna suit our nobles with fine taste, but my kitchen's open to whatever you want to make. I'm not too picky, really. I'll eat anything as long as it's good. Heh, he got it. The bear turns to go, but turns back to me before walking off. Just one thing, my lord. Yeah? Treat Anna well. Alright. Sure I will. Good to hear. And with that, he disappears into the kitchen. With the bear gone, I breathe a sigh of relief. I knew he would be a big bear, but not that big. They went over pretty well, I think. For a moment there, I thought he would eat me or something. Andor was right. He's friendly enough, but his still size alone makes him intimidating. But I don't think I made any mistakes when speaking with him, which is a good thing. Which is a very good thing. Not only would I have to fear discovery, but getting thrown into orbit too. My gaze returns to my table, waiting for my food to arrive, when I notice a drink. Alright, he's already brought me something. Come to think of it, I'm rather thirsty. I hold up the tankard to my nose and give it a sniff. It smells like apple juice and almost cinnamon. I can't pick up on any alcohol. Of its own accord, my tongue curls into a scoop at the end and begins rapidly lapping up the barefoots. I almost slam the tankard down to the table in surprise. I mean, I am an animal now, sort of. It's strange that my body keeps doing things like this of its own volition, but I guess it could be worse. Still, I hope this won't keep happening. Pressing the tankard to my lips, I drink it properly. It's a fuller apple flavor that I'm used to with juice, but it's less sweet and a little bitter. I like it though. The cinnamon is a nice touch. Like any restaurant, my food isn't brought out right away, leaving me nothing to do but sip at my drink. Adno is taking a while, and I nervously rub my claws against the now empty tankard. I shouldn't be impatient. It's only been a few minutes. The occasional squirrel laughter emerges from the kitchen, and each time it's a welcome relief from my boredom. Owen and Adnor sound like they're having a blast in there. Just when I'm about to peek into the kitchen and see what the holdup is, Adnor and Brum exit together and head out to our table. The bear is expertly carrying 2 trays each with sizzling, steaming food. 1 herb and butter hunter with mashed put, and 1 sausage plate for our dependable wolf. What's set before me is a plate with 4 cuts of white meat which resemble oversized chicken breasts swimming in a butter and herb sauce. The other plate is piled high with what smells like garlic and potato. Adnor sets 2 tankards on the table, one clearly meant to refresh my drink, the other bigger, white foam topping it with a smell of beer hanging in the air. So, Lord Irwin, will you hear the request of this humble self and tell me what you think of the food? He gestures at the plate, and I stare in bewilderment. Anything made with this much butter can't be anything less than fantastic. Still looks almost too good to eat. That's a new one. But there ain't much point in making food you don't eat, isn't there? The best part of food is the taste. So please eat, and there's plenty more in the kitchen if you want it. He seems strangely eager to hear my opinion of his cooking. Is it because he thinks I'm a noble? I cut into the meat with a fork and knife like Nani taught me, and gracefully scoop up some mass as well. I broke a couple of times before placing the morsel into my mouth. Not that it was burning hot, but if I'm supposed to be selling this noble role I was given, I might as well get my table etiquette right. Oh, wow. When this meat is so juicy, it's just tender enough for me to chew on. The sauce so creamy and light that it blends perfectly together. So, will you say this is good enough for a noble? Noble? I said this is fit for a king. Huh, I knew it. I knew it. Yes. The bear slaps his knee in triumph. He's beaming with unbridled joy and regards me with pure gratitude. You heard him say it, Agnar. That badger's gonna pay up. What? What badger? I look around confusing. Did I miss something? He's a regular here. Probably had another bet with rum. Oh, you're damn right, he did. I'm confused. What role do I play? What role do I have to play in this? He bet his entire tab that if I couldn't get a note to visit and say the food was good, he wouldn't have to pay it. That's awful. Does he think he's too good to pay, and for this, no less? Oh, he's gonna pay me now, and he's gonna be on disc duty for a week. Is this the time for the Chapmunks hunt too? Oh, this couldn't get any sweeter. Well, I'm proud of you, Rum. Well, I'm proud of you, Rum. He scratches the back of his head with a goofy, confident grin. Since you helped me win your meal and drink today's on me, free of charge. Oh no, I couldn't. The food is so good. I insist. It's my token for putting you in our bed without telling, and I won't take no for an answer. I settled back into my chair and accepted this spot of good fortune. I didn't even do anything, just enjoy the food and gave an honest opinion. The bear retreats to the kitchen, while our gaze is following him. Agnar then rolls his eyes and tilts his head in a playful manner, tilting his attention to me. Not knowing smirk. You knew he was after that, didn't you? I had a hunch he was up to something, and he probably wanted to get to know you better in his own way. And don't feel bad. That badger has it coming. He hasn't paid Brum and Secret Corps in weeks. But things have gone well without an accident so far, so let's eat before it goes cold. I grab my fork and take another satisfying bite from the plate. The juicy meat washes over my tongue, and I try my hardest to savor every salty note before swallowing. It's so good. That's why I've been telling you. Brum's the best cook in all the land, or the world. Can't remember the last time I had a meal this good. I'm glad to hear you enjoy the food here. After we finish this, I'd like to take you to the bakery just down the street. I speed up my chewing and swallow hard so I can answer him, but not before I swig a cider to wash it all down. The more I get to sample this town's food, the better. Which reminds me, Brum said something about enjoying Dorset. Is that what this village is called? He also can't answer right away. On account of an overstuffed muscle, he too rushes his eating and chugs his drink. Yes, this is Dorset. A fine place to settle down, don't you think? It is so far, yeah. It's so different compared to where I'm from. It's a lot more rustic. Old and warm, exactly as the namesake implies, but in a positive way. Still, he'd probably take that the wrong way. It means it has a lot of character, quaint. That's good to hear. We both resume our mutual task of consuming the mountain of food before us. The work drags on, both on account of the scale of it and how slowly I want to make progress. I look up at the big wolf, and I'm wondering how well I'll be able to gauge things based on appearance. That snake's gender was kind of hard to read, as was all his age. How old are you, Agnar? I'm 31 years old, born in the cold month of Colden. Your document said you're 25. Is that your actual age? Yeah, that's really how old I am. Mikhail said we should add some truth to registration to make it easier to remember. A wise decision. Do you think the years work the same though? Our years could have different lengths or something, not to mention the rate at which we age. A good question. When does your kind come of age? When do you consider your bodies to have fully grown to adulthood? Well, it's about when we turn 18. Legally, adulthood can vary based on reason, but that's when we start growing. Well, at least height-wise. I pat my tummy to emphasize the joke. How old do you guys get? What's the average life expectancy? I mean, it can vary from some races, some have more or less to go on, but for most of us, and as a wolf myself, we can get to be about 80 years old. That's about the same for us, 70 to 90 usually when our health's good. So I guess we must have a similar age range as you guys. It must be, that's quite a coincidence. Yeah, who knew? Boy, what are you two doing? I don't see any clean plates. You ain't getting any younger watching it go cold, so quit chewing your words and back to chewing my garbage cooking. Andrew and I burst out laughing together. In hindsight, it wasn't all that funny, but Bum's comedic timing couldn't have been better. I guess we got caught. Andrew tries to hold back his laughter, but his tongue slips out with the silliest grin on his face. It's nice seeing the big wolf laugh so wholeheartedly. He seems rather comfortable doing so here at the end. We both need a moment to settle down before resuming our meal. It takes effort to keep my chuckling down. I catch Adnar smirking at times as his eyes linger on me. No doubt he's having the same problem. I'm growing rather fond of this wolf. Yeah, I ate way too much. I barely managed to eat at all. That's bummed for you. His eyes are always bigger than your stomach. You don't have to gorge yourself if you're full. You can always give me what you don't finish. Though I'm sure he appreciates the compliment of a clean plate. I pat my stomach, hoping in vain that it will cause my food to settle more quickly. Where are we going again? The bakery. We've already arrived. That was fast. I didn't even notice it when we first came here, but it's just a stone's throw away from the inn. I'm feeling like I might have a little room for dessert. If the older rabbit is inside, be warned, he can be rather difficult to deal with. I follow the wolf inside and am met with a dominating scent of yeast and flour. The storefront is small but not cramped, just big enough for someone like Adnar to browse a selection behind the counter. There are many baskets lining the shelves, presumably to hold freshly baked bread, but for the most part they're empty. Slow day, I guess, or busy depending on how you look at it. I'm entranced, however, by the variety of bread that is on display. They are all different shapes and sizes, many twisted into stylish knots and other artistic shapes. There's baguettes, biscuits, croissants, cream and jelly-filled buns, bagels and standard loaves, and more. They come in all different shades of brown. Some are seeds or salt for topping, and all have a glossy coating of butter to really seal the deal. This is only half their stock. It really makes one wonder just how many different kinds they sell when they're full. I didn't realize bread making could be such an art. Someone there? I'll be with you in a moment. I just need to pull these out. A soft welcoming voice comes from the opening behind the counter. I can make out the stonework of the oven from here, so it's reasonable to assume that's the kitchen. There's a shuffling and hinge creaking and clattering of utensils and the sound of something being placed down, quickly followed by the sound of bounding footsteps. Out from the back room comes a gray rabbit. His big floppy ears rest lazily on his shoulders with one draping over the front. He's wiping his hands on his apron, cleaning off traces of flour, or trying to at least. Adnir, back so soon. It's only been a few hours. Hey, Jacob. I'm sorry if we've come at a bad time. We? Oh, sorry I didn't see you there. You must be the new lion fella everyone's so worked up about. Yeah, that's me. He leaps over the counter, literally leaps, in a single bound over the counter and onto the floor in front of us. Standing right in front of me, I see he's just a little shorter than me, his nose being at the height of my chin. He extends a hand and smiles in greeting, his pink nose twitching, his big buck teeth makes for quite an impression. The name's Jacob, the local baker this side of the village. We got many baked goods to sell, all in good quality. Pleasure to meet you. I accept the handshake. His hands are quite soft, with some sticky flour wedged between his beans. Adnor said he would be a difficult one, but it doesn't seem all that bad to me. Let me introduce you to Lord Aaron Sonder. He's a recent arrival in the village and will be staying for a while. His nose twists again, reassessing me with renewed interest. So, you're a noble. I'll grade this again. He is, but the family name doesn't go far. He's from Solenhof, and claims he's traveling to make his own fortune. Hey, Agnar, read my thoughts. Maybe you can run some of this by me before inventing new details about my cover story. First a noble and now a fortune hunter. Is it impersonating a noble a serious crime, like Haman's new series? Lord Aaron. Lord Aaron. He gives me a discreet nudge to bring me back into the conversation. Oh, I'm right, just like Adnor says. Really? Well, good for you. I could just go to the capital already, but I still haven't earned enough to make my way on my own yet. I'm still here to enjoy your baked goods, Jacob. Your baker's second to none. Well, I'd like to hope so. I need a coin. Can't bake much if I can't afford the flour. If only my pa wasn't so stubborn about only using the old recipes, I don't see why he wants me to keep baking the same old bread after so many years. He's not in the kitchen, is he? I would rather not have him meet our Lord here today, as he has not fully recovered yet. Don't worry, the old man's out at the plaza hunting ingredients for his pretzels. Got a lot of people coming to watch the hunt this year. We're having trouble keeping up with demand. Do you think it has something to do with... You make pretzels? The old man does, yeah. They're sort of a seasonal item. He makes them every year for the big hunt. Don't tell him I said this, but they're the only good thing he makes. Have you eaten pretzels before, Lord Aaron Sonder? Of course I had pretzels before, but I don't know if I should be surprised or not to find them in this world. Just about the question, I guess they're not all that common here yet. I have, but I'm looking forward to know they taste here. But looking forward to know how they taste here. I suggest you try it with a tanker of beer and sausage. They go great together. Yeah, beer. Why that of all things? It tastes awful. Well, you can never go wrong with a good beer. Very good. While they're busy chatting, I invite myself to roam the rabbit's selection. This is probably the bakery where I've gotten all the bread from. Oh, but you must be here to decide. What would you like to buy? I'll just browse a little first. Give me a minute. There's not much left, I'm afraid. That batch won't be ready until tomorrow morning. Still, I hope you'll like what's left in themselves. Look around and praise the offerings with the taste of the taste them all, until my eyes land on a peculiar batch on the far right. The rabbit follows my gaze and flinches when he sees where it lies. No, not those ones. They're not for sale. Huh? Why not? Oh, come on, Jacob. They're not that bad. Not that bad? He helps back over the counter with startling dexterity before pulling a familiar-looking brick from the baskets. Need I remind you? He knocks the wanna-be bread on the counter and makes a sharp knocking sound, and I get the horrid feeling that I might have consumed literal rocks the other day. The brick is stagnant. It doesn't even flake or crumble from this harsh treatment. Pa hasn't changed this recipe once since taking over this bakery. I am not selling one of his bludgeons to a noble. Is that the same one you gave me the other day we met? No, please tell me you didn't give him one. Two, actually. Jacob looks absolutely horrified, abject terror draining all color from his face. It's like the world is ending before his eyes. Well, you know, well, you weren't here all the time, and all your stock was sold out. Of all the days to take time off, he's not even trying to hide his frustration. He's digging his fingers into his scalp, scratching as if descending to madness. But he discovers quickly, taking a deep breath and collecting himself. Okay, but he recovers quickly, taking a deep breath and collecting himself. No, it's fine. If his bread was the only one available when he came in, then I can only blame myself. It's just, I take this very seriously. With most nobles, you only get one chance to make an impression. No offense, my lord. It's alright, none taken. Yeah, I know. That's exactly why I brought him that pie, so he could get a taste of your best. At last, a ray of hope breaks through the dark and stormy night. Oh, that's why I was confused. You always said you didn't care much for my apple pie being too sweet and all. Wait, you made that pie? I did. It was my own recipe, made with my own 2 paws. Did you like it? I loved it. It was so sweet and cinnamony. It brought back good memories. The rabbit's chest swells with pride. You really think I wouldn't be looking out for you? I think you owe me an apology. Oh, you? You gave a noble stale bread. That business puts you back to even. Huh, I'm sorry. Nora. It's not your fault. I overreacted. I'm just on edge because of everything going on. So many are coming this year, and Noble might finally take notice of my baking. It's gonna be nuts for the whole week, and I really think this could be my big chance to really impress someone and become their personal baker. I'm just so afraid of screwing this up. Jacob, you're the go-to baker in Dowsett. You're bound to get noticed eventually. I've said it 100 times. You get your chance. They must be blind if they can't see the amazing work you do. I know you're right. It's just been a bit rough lately. I don't have the time or the coin to make any new desserts to really impress people. Most of what we earn is spent on the same old ingredients. By all menace, I could try workshopping one of my old recipes and see if I can't improve it. He takes a big breath, and a smile comes back to his face. Then he seems to remember that this isn't purely a social visit. Oh, right, sorry, forgive my ramblings. You're a customer. Did you decide on what you wanted, my lord? And I hate this. Being called a lord is too weird for me. But I grin and bear it and keep up with the act. Not yet, but I won't take much longer. I didn't really think much about what I wanted before coming, and after the heavy brunch we had, I'm kind of full on food for now. But I don't want to leave without buying anything. Don't want to come off as rude. Maybe I'll just get something for later. It'd be nice to have bread in the house, just in case. I look over the cells one last time, decide on 3 big, fluffy, based pieces of bread. I assume they're an edible version of the loaf brick, and there's some with seeds that look interesting to try. Then I'll take those in the corner, and 2 of the darker ones on the shelf above it. Great choices. They're my latest creations. I gave them just a hint of water, spice, and grinded some seeds to give them a subtle kick. Not many have taken interest in them yet, but I know they'll become more popular as time goes on. Just know it. With a smile, Jacob collects them from their baskets and places them on a square lining on the counter. He wraps them in a quaint little bundle with a length of twine to hold it in place. That'll be 6 core. Anwar retrieves the rabbit's pay from his pouch and exchanges it for the parcel, 6 shiny silver coins put in the rabbit's hand. I hear the door open behind me, and a slender squirrel makes their way into the now somewhat cramped store. Well, back to work. Can't hold up the customers. It was wonderful meeting you, Lord Aaron. I'd love to talk more some other time. With a lining of bread in Adnor's hand, we make our way out back onto the street. Jacob seemed like a nice guy. Can't say I've met someone who loves baking quite as much as him. He does love his trade, puts his pride in what he bakes, and always tries to do combinations. Jacob's a big dreamer, always hard at work. He's told me many times he'll move out of the village onto bigger and grander things someday. That must be a big step to take. He does seem like the kind of guy he always gives his all. It's one of his traits I've always admired about him. I hope his dreams come true. Someone working so hard deserves it. Yeah, he does. Adnor smiles, but it's a weak one. There's an undeniable hint of sadness underneath. You did great today, Aaron. For your first true day here, I don't believe it could have gone any better. Even when I was away with Ole, you managed on your own just fine, and even managed to impress Brum. Is he hard to impress? Well, no, it was how you talked to him without trouble. You did great. Now that this step is over, it's high time we work on your coordination. I raised a brow. I thought I was walking well enough. I haven't had any trouble keeping my balance today. Is it really all that bad? It's better than your first day, but still pretty awkward. It's obvious you have trouble looking natural on your feet. My confidence drains a little hearing that, but being fully adapted here in one day would be pretty impossible. Or as Ole called me, a drunk. That too. But that'll have to wait for tomorrow. It's getting late. We will go to the training grounds to see how to improve your posture. Training ground? I'm gonna get trained by a woven warrior? That sounds cool in hell. I wonder what sort of training he'll put me through, walking across logs suspended in water, on some sort of obstacle course I have to run through, like in the movies. Maybe there's even secret techniques that can only be wielded by lions. The more I think about it, the more excited I get about this whole animal man life. Maybe I've even got superhuman strength due to my new primal body. I can't wait for tomorrow. Stop right here. Okay, so we got to meet Brum, and we got to meet the baker. Both of them are nice. So I was kind of expecting the bear to be big, and he is, but he's very friendly. And despite what Adnor said about the rabbit, he is very friendly. He's not difficult, but I don't know, maybe he was difficult, but he went easy on Aaron because he's a noble, I guess. So we got to know about their ages. Agnor is 31, Aaron is 25, and Mikhail's a year younger than Aaron, so that would make him 24. So Aaron had a successful day. He managed to meet new people, and he didn't cause any problems for himself. So Adnor said he's going to take him to the training grounds, and I'm not sure exactly what he's going to do down there. I mean, maybe fight or teach him how to walk. Because Aaron said that he had trouble walking now that he's a lion man. One thing, aren't lions supposed to be big too? I mean, wolves are big too, but not like lions. Lions are huge, so shouldn't Aaron be huge also? Should he be as big as Agnor and and the bear at that restaurant. Anyway, so we'll continue with Sylving next time. So thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.